Hi, this is Jake, and welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge. Today I want to take a look at another Ganzo knife, the G732, a nice long slender blade and a long slender handle, really good in the hand, and I'd like to tell you all about it, so please stick around. Let's take a look at this knife. Here we have the green Ganzo and an orange Ontario Rat 1 for a comparison, picture. You can see they're very similar in size. And so if you've got a Rat 1, you know sort of what this knife is going to look like. Or at least the size of it, I should say. I've got three samples of this knife. And I'd like to demonstrate why I like this knife as much as I do. It's a liner lock knife that on all of mine locks up right where you'd want a brand new knife to lock up. Take a look at that. Hopefully it's going to focus for me. Here we go. Ganzo puts their liner locks nice and early. I've gotten so sick and tired of so many knives that I bought recently. And I hate to say it, North American brands, yes, they're made in China, but North American brands, and they lock up late. Some of them very late, and that just bugs me like crazy. It means that my life with that knife is shorter than it could be. This knife's got a long time to work over further and further. Let's take a look at the different sizes that we have on these things. When we close it, the whole thing is about 4 3/4 inches. That's about 12 centimeters. You open it up and you've got 21.5 centimeters. That's about 8.5 inches. And the blade itself is 9.5 centimeters. That's from the end of the handle to the tip of the blade. So more like 9 centimeters of cutting edge, but 9.5 centimeters, which is 3 3/4 inches. So it's a nice long knife. You've got 1 1/8 from the spine of the blade to the cutting edge, and 1 1/8 is also the longest distance from the back of the handle to the belly of the handle, the widest part. And the spine of the knife is just right around 3 millimeters, which is right around 1/8 of an inch. We've got the nice hole there to deploy the blade with, and it works just fine. All of mine came with 2 brass washers, which I was really thankful for. And so it's just a washer-based pivot, no bearings or anything like that. The blades are a nice full flat grind. I think with this blade, the 732, you can only get it in satin. There's no stonewash options for this. And the blade has a nice little sneak up choil, which is one of those half and half choils, half on the blade, half on the handle, and lets you, sneak up to do some nice delicate work. And then you've got a nice ramp coming up the back of the blade here with some really smooth jimping, which is enough to make a difference, but not so much that it's going to create any hot spots at all during extended use. And so you've got a nice belly at the back of the blade here, a negative of a belly, a choil sort of, for your thumb to sit in, and it works really, really well. I like that a lot about this design, which of course is a design that they have borrowed, that they saw works well from other manufacturers. We've also got the, that's what I was pointing right at it. My brain just wasn't thinking about it. The sharpener's choil. There's a nice little sharpener's choil on each one of these, which makes it really easy to sharpen well without making the end of your blade here look ugly and nasty. As you can see right there, if it'll focus, there we go. It's a G732 with 440C steel, and the edge stays good for quite a while on this knife. as 440C should. The grip. Let's talk about the handle now. Close this so I don't cut myself. The grips are all G10. You have the option of green, orange, black, and camo. And they're harder to find in stock anymore. You've got those same options with this 3D routing out of the handle scales. And at GearBest, this one is actually less expensive than the other one. You're looking at just over $15 for the one with the routed out scales, and just over $16, closer to $17, $16.80 or something for the just flat G10 with the nice mild texture on there. This texture I prefer in the hand, this routed out texture, because it's really easy to get a very positive grip, because the fingerprint area of your fingers all line up on the side there, and you've just got a really, really substantial purchase to the knife right there, and it's not going to move on you. So in my testing, in my cutting, I preferred this knife, and so I use this one the most, and I really like how that feels. You've got the option of tip down carry, or you've got tip up carry. You've got right carry and left carry. So it's really good. If you want tip down, that's when you get your deepest carry, which is quite deep. You've got less than half of an inch sticking out. But if you choose tip up carry, which I know a lot of you will, you've got an inch of handle sticking out of your pocket. So that's going to be a downer for some people. I really don't care if it's tip up or tip down that much. I've only got these muted kind of colors here. I do prefer orange. I thought I ordered the orange one with the scales that were milled out, but I ended up with 2 green knives and 1 camo one. I bought all of these knives out of my own money. It's got nice open pillar construction. Yeah, that was a nice segue, wasn't it? Nice open pillar construction, just 2 pillars, your stop pin and your pivot. And that's all it needs. It hasn't been flexing for me at all. The G10 is almost an eighth of an inch thick, which is really good. And the liners are all stainless steel. They've got nothing, no skeletonizing to lose a little bit of weight. And that's why this knife comes in at 4.5 ounces. 4.5 ounces is not a lot for a knife of this length, but you know, it's coming right on around the edge of what some people may or may not want to carry. I don't really care. I'll carry a knife that's twice this weight, and I'll be happy all day long as it's a good knife. Oh, in metric, that's 126 grams. The clip I forgot to mention before is a little too aggressive in the pocket with this handle scale, the milled out handle scale. With the flat G10, it works really well. It gives you just the right amount of traction in your pocket. So for the one with your G10, you might want to, just gently flex that clip a little bit until you get it to the, snugness that you want. Don't overextend it, because when you go back, you're going to break it probably, or it's just not going to work that well anymore. You've got something that I would like to see improved. I like how they did these flat screws on the pivot. I wish they would have done the same thing with the screws on the pillars. It would have just been a nice touch, and with the screws here on the clip as well. If they would have all been flat like this, that'd be an extra touch that goes a long ways. But remember, this is a $15, $16, almost $17 knife that we're talking about. We're not talking about, a $50, $70, $80 knife, or over $100 if you're a knife guy, or a knife gal, that knives that are in good shape of this kind of size and usage, easily 100, 150 bucks. All right, so there we've got the specs on it. We've got what it looks like. We've got what it feels like. We've got its size. Let's play with this thing. How well does a knife like this cut? Well, we can try cutting wood. I'm going to need to put these knives away. This is really hard for me to hold on camera, so I'll just do it like this. I'll just use my thumb to help me. just to demonstrate that the blades are pretty sharp. And, you know, that's a tiny little feather stick. And, you know, the sharpness of this blade can handle that. And then you can right away get some newsprint. And it's no problem at all. And that's a slow push cut. No problem at all with cutting that kind of stuff. What else do we have to test? Got some paracord here. Let's double it up and double it up again. So now we've got, what, 4 layers of paracord to try to cut through. Here we go, guys. 1, 2, 3. You blinked, didn't you? You blinked. No problem at all. How about wire? Here we've got a mouse cord. So a computer cord, charging cord, whatever you want. The mouse died and it cuts through that pretty easily. You look in there and you see, yeah, those are metal wires. You know, they're not heavy and thick and everything, but yeah, you can cut through that without too much of any issue at all. How about something thicker? Here we have a belt that is thicker than a seat belt. 1.5 inches wide though, but yeah, the thickness is quite substantial. And let's see how it will do with this stuff. Are you ready? No problem at all. So they've done a really good job with the steel, putting the edge on, the proper hardness. It's right around 58 Rockwell hardness on these knives. The edge has been retained really well. I've not done anything to these edges. They're still the factory edge on all of them. It flicks really nice. You know, it makes a good sound when you flick it. That's something I like, something that people don't like when they're watching television though. So this knife can get really annoying quickly for television. They kept it really simple with this liner lock. I didn't mention it before. There's no jimping or anything harsh in there. It's really easy to operate with, you know, with the right hand. But what if you're lefty? Well, I'm a lefty, and it's a little harder to close it than it is with my right hand. And I haven't been practicing very much with this knife with my left hand, but it's, you know, it's clearly doable, and it works. And with the option to put your clip wherever you want, all 4 positions, this is a really nice knife. So if you'd like this video, please click like down in the lower right-hand corner. Share it with somebody in the lower left-hand corner. Click on the More button to find a link to where you can buy this. I bought all 3 of mine from, I did buy 4. I gave one away, didn't I? I bought all of mine from GearBest, and they've got the best prices. I think if you buy this knife, you're going to be carrying it quite often. It just has that really nice look. I especially like I said before, this milled out liner. But whenever you've got a knife, always remember to cut towards your chum and not your thumb. Have a great day, guys. Bye now.